This is the cabin of Robert Service in Dawson City. Robert Service is the great bard of the gold rush. His poems and ballads capture the spirit of the gold rush in the Klondike like no other. He arrived to the Yukon in 1904, 5 years after the rush was over, as an employee of the Commercial Bank of Scotland. Service hadn't written much to that point and was never published. He was encouraged to write by the editor of the White Horse Star, who told him, "Why don't you write about our own bit of earth? There's a rich pay streak waiting for someone to work. Why don't you go in and stake it?" Service took the challenge on. "I took to the woodland trail, my mind seething with excitement and strange ecstasy," he wrote. "As I started in, there are strange things done in the midnight sun. Verse after verse developed with scarce a check. For 6 hours I tramped over those silver glades, and when I rolled happily into bed, my ballad was cinched. Next day, with scarcely any effort of memory, I put it on paper. My moonlight improvisation was secure, and though I did not know it, McGee was to be the keystone of my success."
This is The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert Service. There's strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night in the marge of Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Now Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but that land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Though he'd often say in his homely way, "I'd sooner live in hell." Now Christmas Day we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. You talk of your cold, through the parka's fold it stabbed like the driven nail. If our eyes would close, the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to complain was Sam McGee. Now that very night we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow. The dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe. He turns to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low I couldn't say no. And he said with a sort of a moan, "It's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet, 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that, foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore I would not fail. So we started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he was ghastly pale. He crouched in the sleigh, and he raved all day about his home in Tennessee. But before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. Now there wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror-driven, with the corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid of because of a promise given. He was lashed to the sleigh, and seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains." Well, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were numb and my heart how I cursed that load. Through the long, long night in the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. God, how I loathed that thing. And every day the quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. But on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad. I swore I'd not give in. I'd often sing to that hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Then I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay. It was stuck in the ice, but I saw in a thrice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. And here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel up higher. The furnace roared, and the flames just soared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in that glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Now I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the winds began to blow. Though icy cold, the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And that greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about, and again ere I ventured near. Though filled with dread, I bravely said, "I'll just take a peep inside." I'm sure he's cooked, but it's time I looked, and the door opened wide. There sat Sam, cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. He wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm." Strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails that are secret tales that make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was the night on the marge of Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Thank you.